What's going on, everybody, and welcome on into the Put It in the Book show. Officially the very first off-season special of the 2024-2025 off-season. Stuff is already happening, obviously, for some reason, not too quickly enough for some Mets fans, but we'll get into all that in just a moment. Mr. Rodriguez.
Why am I up
What's
here?
going on, sir? How's it going?
Hey, what's up, Farachi?
How's life?
Producer Joe's got
Everything good?
Got this whole thing messed up here. What's
Producer
going on?
Joe does that. I don't know what he's. I don't know what's happening.
I'm gonna have problems talking because I'm in the wrong side. But whatever. There we go. Thank you, Producer Joe. Oh, this is good though. I don't mind this position, this one or the bottom one. But when I go to the right, it throws me right off. That's it.
Gone. Like look at him. He loses the whole personality over there.
That's better. No, bring Farachi back. Oh, hi everybody. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Oh, Jesus. All right. So I'm introducing Rodriguez now. Pretend you didn't see any of that. Keith, my friend, what's going on, sir? How's life treating you? In front of that big old apple.
It's all right.
A little suck up. Look at you sucking up over there.
Producer Joe's amazing.
Oh boy. Kick him off for that.
That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
That's good. All right.
That will probably get you one bad remark. You'll be fine. You'll be able to say at least maybe two or three.
Oh, you're saying there's some leniency now going to be shown
because he's sucking up. Yeah.
Listen, sometimes the truth gets you further.
Oh, hey, that was like perfect timing. When you watch this back, Rodriguez, that face that he made and the sound effect, bam, it hit right.
It also looked like he did the butt cheek lean too.
It was so weird.
Oh, maybe a little lean too. Lean with it, rock with it. Rodriguez, what's going on, sir?
Oh, thanks for introducing me. Glad I got on the show. Everything's good, man. We have the best, one of the top 3 hitters in baseball, I'll say, if I'm going to be fair. I'm going to be truthful. One of the top 3 hitters. One of the youngest top 3 hitter in all of baseball. We have Juan Soto, guys. That's why we're here, isn't it? That's why we're here.
Amazing.
Start her up, Farachi.
Unbelievable. Pretty well. You got it. No knocking today?
No. He's mad at me.
Yeah.
He doesn't listen. See? He's mad at me. He wants to be emancipated. Wants to get out of the walls.
Does he though? Sometimes I feel like he does.
I think he does. He's lost a few pounds. He wants to show off the bikini body this year.
What do the bubbles mean?
No. Oh, whoa. Yeah, thank you. Let's back it up a bit. All right. So, all right. In this first off-season episode, we'll talk a little bit about Juan Soto. We'll talk a little bit about some of the minor moves that the Mets have made over the last 5 or 6 days or so. And then, of course, the big elephant or polar bear in the room. Yeah. Talk a little bit about what's going on with Pete, what's going on out there, what's going on internally with the Mets, with contract talks there. So let's do it, Producer Joe. Hit the music.
Put up the box.
All right, people, welcome back in. Keith, excellent. Wow, that's rude, Keith. How the fuck dare you?
All right.
You see that, Rodriguez? Rodriguez is on the small screen. His
Farachi,
Farachi, the Yankees.
Likes the Yankees.
Wow.
Do you, Farachi?
That hurts, Keith.
Wow.
I have feelings they'd beat hurt.
That's
all right. So
get sued for that.
That part. All right. So obviously, let's start off with Juan Soto. Juan Soto signs with the New York Mets in the richest contract in North American sports history, and for the first time ever, we could give 2 shits about the money. because it don't matter if that fails. Boss man's got $22 other billion to fund this puppy. And by the way, Mets are the only team that signed Juan Soto to this massive, what could be 15 years, $805 million contract. It's egregious. It's insane, but who cares? It's our contract.
Yeah.
And the owner doesn't care, and we can make more moves on top of it.
No deferred payment.
That's huge too. We don't got to defer no money, Dodgers. Keep on defer. You got $1.2 billion in deferred money by 2035.
And doesn't he get $70 million up front or $75 million up front?
$75 million signing bonus. Only owner that can say, hey, here's a check. Oh, by the way, don't wait till Friday to clear it. Cash that bad boy right now.
Yeah,
it's all good.
I get the deferred payment thing. I know we're just going like right into this, right? But I get the deferred payment thing. But the way the Dodgers are doing it, even if your owner is as rich as Uncle Steve, you have to worry. Like, okay, great, we're going to get some championships. But as I get older, if I'm a young fan, we're just eternally going to suck because we're going to be in this hole. We're going to be in like Bobby Bonilla times 1,000 hole.
But there's an increase. There's an increase in sales and stuff. When they win championships, winning championships increases your sales, increases your popularity. A lot of other places will buy you. A place that doesn't care about the Dodgers, like Des Moines, Iowa, they'll buy a Dodgers jersey just because of the world champs. So there's money to be made off of that. Even though whatever he's getting for the year, they're gonna make that back and more. By being a playoff team, which means you get more games and more revenue, more fans, more product to sell, and you get the playoffs, and then you get the World Series, and then you make tons of money. So the money comes
players
back.
that want to come, and more players that this is a destination now. The New York Mets are for the first time for the biggest destination
for a while now. Yeah,
for the first time in a long time. I mean, we've had our years, but now this is a destination where guys are going to want to look to say, hey, what's going on over there? Mookie Betts in his podcast, he interviewed Lindor, and he was talking about Steve Cohen and his money and the such. So
destination Cohen is setting up better. And my point is he's setting it up better for success continuously, as opposed to the Dodgers who are looking for success now, but kind of putting the franchise in jeopardy for many years to come, unless they're taking all that profit and put it into some kind of compound interest thing, and they're going to pay off all that debt, which I doubt they are. I think Uncle Steve's approach is much better. Is kind of, I guess, what my point is.
And we're building a minor league. Okay, we have a good we have a good minor league system now, and good minor league players, and we're getting to better. So, and if you can bring up a guy a year from your minor leagues, and he becomes established, like last year, Vientos became established. He's not going down to the minor leagues anymore unless he really, really goes bad. That could happen. So, but next year, somebody else can come up. Acuna's batting over 300 in the Venezuelan league. I mean, it's not the major league, but it is probably a very competitive league, and he's playing well. And there's a bunch of young guys there that could be infielders and could be outfielders. Brett Beatty's still around, I mean, he's a young kid also. So we're building, like he said, he's doing the money thing right by giving the money now, and also keeping him on the league system and having hopefully, because I'm even talking bull crap right now. He might trade the next 5 guys tomorrow, but it looks like they're trying to build a team for the future, for the next 10 years, so Soto can become a Hall of Famer and go in as a Met.
In other words, he's doing exactly what he said in the whole process of purchasing the team. He has not strayed away from that. He's always looked to better the team, both the major leagues. The Japanese ace has met with the Mets. I didn't think that he was meeting with the Mets. So he's met with the Mets, the Yankees, and the Dodgers now.
The one with the media issues, the self-proclaimed media issues.
Roki Sasaki bomb.
All right, trying to come up with already.
This is exactly what he said he was set out to do, because he's a lifelong Met fan, and now look what he's doing around the ballpark. He's got plans to build up the dump that is around in Flushing, Queens, and building that up, and this
that's long term. Yeah, by the time Soto's contract starts aging, that's going to be a beautiful area. I mean, I grew up over there. Yeah. I've walked down there for various reasons, whether as I was working construction or whatever it is, and that place was a pile of crap, and still is, from what I understand. I haven't been there in years, but the plans that Uncle Steve has, that it's going to be a beautiful area, which is great, because not only is he building up the Mets, which is good for New York, and he's taking that whole area and he's making it into a tourist attraction. But
so he can pay Soto.
Right, exactly. No, it's true, right? Because if you're absolutely right, Rodriguez. Because if you pull somebody in like a Soto, you to what Faraci was saying before his point, you're going to get other players that want to be that are attracted to the Mets, and then the Mets start generating revenue. It starts generating crowds, and now after the game, everybody goes over there to the restaurants, hotels, and casinos.
New York is crazy when the Mets win, guys. You guys know this. New York goes crazy when the Mets win. It's it's a National League team finally up there again and winning and being competitive, just like they were in the old days. They had 3 great teams in New York: the Giants, the Dodgers, and the Skankies. 3 great teams at one time with great players. I mean, and the place was buzzing. So when the Mets and the Yankees are good, there's nothing better. And when the Mets are good, it's even better. When the Mets are better, it's even better.
Right. Yeah. So trajectory going the right way. He's saying all the right things, including that he did not even have any conversation with any of his former teammates on the Yankees through the signing period, which is that's like recruitment 101.
Says a lot.
Recruitment 101 is the star.
Hold on out a little bit though. My phone number changed, this changed, but then somebody else came on and said, "Well, Nimmo was able to call you."
Nimmo had it. Exactly. So
I mean, listen, if Rodriguez, you're Soto and I'm Aaron Judge, and it's you walked and I have several years on the team, I'm gonna call you, bro, and I'm gonna be like, come on, let's do this together. We have unfinished business here.
Yeah. They got to the World Series.
Yeah,
dude, I mean, come on. He was dead set on probably not really returning to them unless they blew everybody else out the water. Because according to what they said, his family's the biggest thing to him. And the Yankees were not bending their rules for him and his family. I understand that from their end. Also, I can understand that from the Skankies end. It's like no player is bigger than the organization or the team. I get that, but also at the same time, it's an antiquated logic. It's an antiquated thing, and if you're gonna get one of the best guys to stay with you for the next 10 years, and all you gotta do is give his family a suite so they can come in and be able to eat and drink.
Exactly.
And watch their kid.
And the price of it is so. I think the Yankees is somewhere between $600,000 and $1 million for the year for the suite. Big deal. Like,
all right.
Like at that, when you're talking $760 million, who cares about an extra $15 million? Like so, that you're not even paying. I mean, you're losing that, but you're gaining the revenue of this and that. Now, I listened to Bill Simmons on mostly football stuff, but he was talking about this, and he says, "Hey," and Stephen A. Smith, I think, even said it, which is odd.
I don't care what he says.
But he said maybe Soto, it was neck and neck, Mets and Yankees, but he looked at Aaron Judge and how he hit the weight of like a 7-year-old kid in the playoffs. He did not show up at all, and then he looked on the other side of town and saw Lindor and the Mets performing all throughout the playoffs, surpassing all expectations, and the future seemed brighter on the Mets side also. So that could have played a part in it too. Aaron Judge has never come out big in the playoffs, and that could play into it.
Yeah, I agree, but I think he's more of a family man. The way he talks and the way he carries himself and everything that he's been saying all this time, family was the biggest thing for him, and the disrespect that his dad wasn't let into a game by security guards. Supposedly, these are things that they're saying,
which we're very grateful for, everybody. We're grateful for you guys over at Yankee Stadium.
Things happen, right? So
don't discount the fact that the Mets were infinitely more fun to watch, and obviously,
absolutely,
to play for. Look at Lindor after the Brewers series when he ran out, hopping up and down for the picture. I mean, they were infinitely more fun, loose, and fun to watch. You know, don't discount that either. I mean, you know, you're looking at locking into an organization for 15 years. The Yankees are, you know, stodgy, stale, cigar, oak, leather. Yeah, you know, the past.
Leather.
You know, the Mets are the future.
The
you know?
past. Ooh,
Rodriguez
what a burn.
Huh? So I said Rodriguez would have to shave if he was on the Yanks. Not that he would ever do that, but
I would have to shave.
Yeah.
For that money, I would shave.
Yeah,
I'm telling myself I got no problem.
I'll shave my ass on live TV if you're gonna pay me that kind of money. But
no,
well, listen.
See there you go.
But yeah, so the whole family aspect, real quick, I wanted to touch on, right? So Alex Cohen, we all know.
Talk about family while you're shaving your ass.
And
again,
I put newspaper on the floor. So you know, we're all my fans. We know the story, so I'm not going to get too much into it. But Alex Cohen is kind of spearheaded the family part of the Mets thing.
Yep.
And even before that became public last year, us on this show has mentioned like how the Mets have really embraced the family aspect without knowing Alex Cohen was spearheading that at that point. And I think it's amazing, right? Because what you're doing is when you're investing in the player's family, now you're essentially getting them to want to work for you. And that's key. You know, when you get somebody that wants to work for you instead of they're working for the money for you, well, the money's always a factor. I mean, 750, 60, whatever million. But I'm just saying, like, if you're touching their family and you're a part of their family, you inspire them to really want to win for you. And that's a return on investment all by itself. So I think how the Mets are approaching this, I think how Steve Cohen involves his whole family, right? Because you remember Steve Cohen's son, he helped make the video presentation to Juan Soto. And one of the things he did in there that was key, and hopefully it didn't look like Dwayne Wade, he digitally produced a statue next to the Tom Seaver statue and said, hey, if your Mets career is long and prosperous, this could be you in the Mets courtyard with next to Tom Seaver.
He'll be a legend, a god.
Right. And that was right, franchise. And that was Cohen's son. So it's a family affair. And you kind of feel that with the Steinbrenners. It's very corporate. George, I'll give him credit. He was a lot more personal, but like Hal and team, very corporate. Even with Clay Holmes, without the beard, I don't know if you've seen. He's already starting to grow his beard in a little bit.
Yeah, he's very excited about it.
You know, they're not allowed to express themselves over there. What's that?
I say he was very excited about it.
He was, yeah. So you know, but you're allowing these players to express themselves within the boundaries of respect. And I think it goes a long way with the players. And I think when you go to that extent for the players, again, they will go that extent for you to try to help you win a championship. It makes a difference. I mean, think as an employee of any company you go for, when your boss is invested in you, you'll invest back in them. And that's kind of what's going on here with the Mets. And I freaking love it.
How many players have you heard say how much they thank and love Steve and Alex Cohen? You know, almost every player references both.
A lot of times, Alex first too, right?
You know, and yeah, you know, and how many players do you hear talking about Steinbrenner? You know, that's there's no relationship there. There's no loyalty or commitment. There, you know, you literally hear about it. Almost every Met player, they'll reference Steve and Alex Cohen. You know. And what, you know, they did for them or how they treated them, you know, there's something, you know, there's something to be said for that.
Yep, I agree.
Yep.
Aside from winning a championship, this ownership has done everything I could ask for and ever wanted of a Mets organization. Championship is next.
That's right. All right. Well, you mentioned Clay Holmes, so we could get into a couple of more little signings, and then we'll get into the polar bear stuff. But Clay Holmes, that's 3 years. 3 years was 39. 3 years, 30. To become a starter, you get stretched out. He's been in the pen for about 5-6 seasons, and this is another sign of the times have changed. Steve Cohen signing not the part that we're trying to stretch somebody out into a starter. The fact that who cares if it doesn't work because we just pop him right back in the bullpen and he's a $13 million setup guy and we don't give a fuck. That's the Mets right now.
But he's a good setup guy, though. That's the thing. You're not getting garbage.
Postseason. So I think I sent it to you guys when the Yankees got Devin Williams from the Brewers, and I jokingly said to somebody, he's got a 23 ERA in the playoffs. Great regular season. He also gave up a bomb to Pete Alonso, 23 ERA. Clay Holmes, on the other hand, they're talking about shit your pants Holmes. They called him. He's got a sub 2 ERA. Wasn't it that I sent you?
1.35.
His last 3 seasons were kind of brilliant.
And in the postseason, he's got 23 appearances or something like that with that ERA. So knowing that the Mets, it's postseason now. There's no, great job, you finished the game out of the wild card spot. We'll get him next year. You're postseason or bust this year, World Series. Thinking, and so when you're thinking about that, you want the guys who can get it done and who is shown to get it done in the playoffs. That's the team that we are now.
In New
which
York,
is great.
don't forget.
In New York. It's so great that we can add that I can actually say that. We're signing guys with the anticipation of how they can perform in the playoffs and looking at their track history and their track record of what they've done here in the city.
Yep, good point. I think this was a brilliant signing on many fronts, right? So I think that the guy has some really good stuff. He expressed through his what?
I just saw Dom's comment. Sorry. He said, if the Mets don't re-sign Alonso and another starter, this is a failure of an offseason.
So
it's December 19th. Pump the brakes.
Yeah, let me finish.
Take it easy.
I'll give a quick 2-line answer to that. But I think this was an extremely brilliant signing. The guy can pitch. We know that. The guy has some brilliant stuff. Put him in the camp of Hefner. He'll teach him another pitch. For sure, he'll teach him another pitch. I'm just curious to see how he can stretch in a starting rotation because we do need some innings. I would like, I don't want him to be a 4-inning pitcher. If that's how it starts, that's fine. But eventually, I would like to see him stretch into like a 6 and occasionally a 7-inning pitcher. But if it fails in his starting role, he goes to the bullpen. For $13 million a year for a bullpen pitcher who performs the way he has, you're still at a bargain. And you got the bargain because you promised him a chance at the starting rotation. So either way, for the next 3 years, you got either a starting pitcher who's going to grow into himself and be really good, or he falls back to a bullpen role where he was already really good. So it's really, truly a win-win. And what Dominic had said, pump the brakes because the Mets will sign a true starting pitcher. This is David Stern's style, and it's already proven to succeed last year. So you can't shoot it down this year. You got to kind of sit back and relax and watch what unfolds. Like the Canning signing, they made a big deal out of it. I thought it was funny, but depth is super, super important. Depth is kind of what got us to where we were last year. But I do think the Mets will explore other options like a Mania. I don't think the Mets are not going to be involved in any of available.
Give us the stats, Cornet. Give it to us.
Yeah.
Send us the stats, the advanced metrics.
I think, like I said, Holmes is a brilliant signing. Mets will sign a starter. I think it's going to be Mania, but who knows? We'll find out. And I think Pete's coming back. So chill out, Dominic.
John Smoltz likes this guy. Okay, and who better to take his opinion from? The guy was a top tier reliever and a top tier starter.
Smoltz is actually usually pretty good when he's calling Mecca.
You're a Braves fan too.
He's fair.
Yeah, I think he's pretty fair. But Rodriguez, I wanted to get your opinion. Get
Did you have any time again? I want to record it.
Hey, Okay, so this dude just signed his 3-year, $39 million contract, and he's gonna start getting things ramped up a little bit earlier this offseason. So let's say he starts going a little bit heavier than he normally would in, let's say, mid to late January, getting the long toss and going, stuff like that. No reason why he shouldn't be amply stretched out by.
He should be ready to start. He should be ready to start the spring training. He should be ready to start spring training really, really easily with no problems. He's a starter. He has 3 pitches, so if he just throws the 3 pitches and becomes a pitcher instead of a thrower, and works out, he'll be fine.
All right. So
okay.
All right. So, Mets are kind of tied to a couple other guys. Every now and then you hear the Corbin Burns thing. Cohen doesn't.
That would be a good get. That would be a really good get.
But
I
Cohen doesn't seem to
like
want to spend that type of money on a guy past the age of 35. So I think he's maybe waiting for the years to come down a little bit, and then he'll jump in, maybe. But I think he's like, I kind of maybe learned my lesson a little. Max Scherzer.
Do we know who his agent is? Corbin's agent?
No. Producer Joe can look that up, I think.
I think Burns has been declining in a couple of stats that they've thrown out there, such as, speed. He's not throwing as hard and stuff. He's not striking as many people out. But, that to me doesn't bother me as long as he's winning 15 games a year and he's got a sub-4 ERA in this era. He's fantastic in this era then. And he throws 7 to 8 innings all the time. Yep. So
yeah, I heard that.
That's a guy I would still sign. Isn't he only 29 or 30?
He's actually
what is he?
He's 30. Last year he was 15-9 with a 2.92 ERA. So if that's
in the American League East.
I'm good with that. And guess who his agent
Dude,
is?
I'll take that. I'll take that all day long, man.
Boris.
All right, we don't hate Boris no more. We don't like him as a human being, but
we have the money to do it.
We have money now.
Yeah, it's like you shop at Walmart until you can shop at Target. You shop at Target until you can shop at Macy's. You just got to move up the ladder. Now we're basically where? What store does that compare to?
Fifth Avenue Saks.
There you go. Something in Beverly Hills.
Why'd you say it backwards like that?
Why did you say that backwards like that? That was really
the
weird.
whole show is ruined now. You ruined the entire show.
Is what happened to you're on Fifth Avenue.
Yeah. Just rewind that part.
Cornet. Let's bring up Cornet's thing. Okay, so these are the advanced stats. Stuff plus for all Holmes' 3 pitches are elite, 100th percentile in ground ball rate, which is a big deal. I think he has a splitter or a change. Already started working on that as he started wanting to be a starter.
He's adding. That splitter's rough, man, because you gotta split your fingers like that, and that messes up your forearm. It causes a lot of injuries.
That's pooping milk.
I'm telling you,
Jesus,
don't learn a splitter.
Give him a change. Give us a change. Give us a change.
Change will be fine.
Wicked change. Wicked.
Forget the splitter.
Boys, wicked smat. All right.
Wicked pisser.
The polar bear, Mr. Alonso. Next up here, our beloved Pete, first baseman. Does that mean producer Joe does? Wait, whoa, wait. That's how many strikes do we get? That's an X for mentioning that dude's name. All right, we'll.
You're getting the strike. I didn't say that.
It's a baseball show. So.
You have to say the name in a baseball show.
All right. So
I changed the name to Peter, so it should be fine now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't. He doesn't drop.
Wait, let's wait for the. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Is Peter okay?
Yeah, because remember he came up.
Wait, I was listening for the ding of the X.
No, do whatever you want.
Lord.
Do whatever you want.
Oh my God, he's upset.
It's also fresh and new. I can't wait to hear about it. Go.
A little bit is fresh and new. So Pete Alonso, the reporting comes out today from Jeff Passan, who is the only guy I listen to. He's not been wrong. He's not a total douche. I don't listen to Carlos Baergas of the world. Listen to Jeff Passan, and he's
Listen.
out
Don't
there.
knock on Baerga. Baerga's
No,
been on
no,
point in a few things. Okay,
a few things.
Listen,
A few
Carlos
things. Well, a few
Salvatore,
things.
I don't
Not
want nothing to
everything.
do with him.
All
He
right,
was a
so
failure as a Met, and he's a failure as
Okay.
a human because of that.
Relax over there.
Now he's a
So-
failure as a human.
So,
Good God.
so Jeff Passan is now saying that
extreme.
Pete's having a little bit of difficulty getting a long-term deal out on the open market. So now the speculation is bring Pete in on a shorter-term deal back to the Mets on maybe a few $1 million more per year, just to make up for the length of the contract.
Pete should come back with making more money than the other two guys. What's his name from the Braves and Chipper? Making more money than the guy on the
Chipper.
Phillies. Not Chipper. Did I say Chipper? Oh my God, Chipper! I hate that guy so much. He's
Larry.
always on my mind.
Larry.
Oh, the guy on the Phillies. What's his name? The first baseman now.
Bryce Harper.
Bryce Harper. He should come
No.
back making $1 million more than
Oh.
Bryce Harper. For
Bryce
5
Harper
years.
got
Give him a
$300 million.
5-year contract. No,
Yeah, but
he's
he
making
got $300
$28 million a
over
year.
what?
He's making $27 million a year. You give Pete 29 for 5 years.
So give him
Golden.
five for 150. I'm in.
5 for 150. Why not?
Didn't Harper get the Phillies
in
get a
jail, by the
kickback
way.
for Harper bringing a championship to Washington when he was with the Phillies?
He did a good job there.
He did a great job.
All right. Well, okay. Is it the three of us? What say you, Keith? I know you want them to resign him. Rodriguez, you're all in on resigning Pete.
I'm all in on resigning
okay.
Pete. I don't
Joe?
think he should have ever been even sent to free agency.
Well, now he's probably, checking himself on not accepting that deal, the 7-year deal that the Mets offered.
Yeah, what was it? 7 years, 158 million.
I think his stats are good enough, man. His stats are good enough to keep him in that high 28, $29 million range. I think he can do it with Soto and with the young kids coming up. Marte getting better this year, coming back this year, just a DH and stuff. And I bring back Winker. I like that dude's
Pete, you were
attitude.
Called Keith. Keith, you were right on point. 7 for 158.
Yeah, that's low. I mean, if you are already willing to give him 7, go a little lower with a higher annual. What do they call it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Give him 5 for 150. You're $30 million a year.
But that's
5 for 150
total. I think the dollar sign should be larger than the 158. You were already offering him 7. Go with the 7 and give him 7 for 170. That's probably more than anybody else.
Why?
Turn it down.
He'll still be making more money than everybody else if they give him $30 million a year. He'll be the highest paid first baseman in all of baseball.
And by the time he retires from the Mets in 7 years, Soto will only be 34 years old. He could start switching to that DH role.
He becomes a DH.
Go there when he gets older. I mean, it works.
Lefty-righty combo. Alonso and Soto.
This is without Alonso. This is one of the better lineups that we've had since 2000.
You need another bat. It's not that good.
You need another bat.
I gotta wake you up.
You can't lose 35 to 40 bombs like that.
Not a good lineup. It's a fair lineup. It can be good, but to make it very good to great, you need Alonso.
And so Keith,
lineup is a beast.
Just to play this, I know what the Mets were willing to do, but he declined the offer. He struggled in big spots up until the big spot against Milwaukee, but he struggled in the second half of the season in big spots. So he, if you have no ties to him, no love for him, an outsider looking in, you're like, well, you just kind of lost yourself a little bit of money there. Not what I'm saying should happen, but from the business aspect of it, he cost himself a few bucks last season.
He's getting older though.
He bet on himself, and I've heard some analysts say that they think that Pete, and I so happen to agree that Pete would be better with security, meaning he'll have a contract and he's not going anywhere, than he is under the pressure of being in a contract year. And it's kind of evident he was fairly consistent, other than his batting average fluctuation, but his power numbers and his driving runs in were fairly consistent throughout all the years until he got into his walk year. And it seems like he pressured himself maybe a little bit too much. And some of the analysts think that him being secure with his contract, he'd go right back to his 40 home run, 100 plus RBI. And let's remember, and I know
if that happens, then the lineup is elite.
His subpar year was what, 34 home runs, 90 something RBIs. I mean, come on. I would take that as a subpar year from any player, any time of the year.
And really good defense. Don't forget, he's become so much better as a defensive player. He's a really good defender at first. Does a really good job now. And he has 35 to 40 home runs.
Scooper.
I mean, you know.
Right. I mean, the way
he saved Lindor a lot of errors, I'll tell you that. Throwing errors, at least.
He does.
He's a Koopa.
He's a scooper. Scooper poopa. But he's so big when he does those stretches. I get freaking nervous every time that he's going to have hamstring pull and be out for 5 weeks, 6 weeks.
That's why you got Vientos. Don't sweat
the groin. Like the groin is what's going to happen.
That's why you got
he's an athlete. I mean, he's a big dude. He's a really good athlete. I mean,
he's a polar bear.
Like Piazza. Speaking of polar bear and groin, it's so funny. There's a video out there of a grizzly bear. There goes Keith. There goes Keith back. Of a grizzly bear scratching himself on a tree, and then one of the branches breaks off and it hits him in the nuts.
Oh.
And he starts like walking around with his legs spread wide open, and he falls to the ground. And the comedian was like, "Look at that giant ass bear just became a little boy getting hit in the nuts right there."
That's true. That'll knock anybody down.
Come on, Joe. Send me the video. You can love it.
Dominic Sorrentino said that the Yankees might sign him just to screw the Mets.
Oh, stop it! All right.
That's how it's gonna work.
We're not entertaining that one, Keith.
Pete Alonso has no say in it. Nobody. The Mets have no say in it.
Can't grow a beard then.
They just signed them.
From what I understand,
my cousin Max thinks that if the Mets say I want you, the person has to come no matter what. You know, it doesn't even matter if the person hates New York.
That's logical, Rodriguez.
Like, just come. The Mets want you, just come.
That's it.
Now,
I never understand that.
Now, what about the rumors that have popped up here and there? Not a whole lot to it, but that the Mets might be willing to let Alonso walk in favor of potentially picking up Vladdy Jr. from the Blue Jays because they've not done a contract there.
Okay, that would have to be a trade, right? That would have to be a trade.
Well, this is it's his coming up to his last season. He just declined a contract, $380 some odd million, declining. And so Toronto might be in a position to either trade him at the deadline or whoever just loses him and it becomes a free agent situation.
I'm a big believer in homegrown talent, and I really think that Pete Alonso is a Met. If you want to be kind of silly, sentimental about it, but I believe he's a Met. And I like Vladdy Guerrero. I'm sorry, Vladdy Jr.
Vladdy Divac, huh? It's a baseball show, sir.
I know. I'm saying basketball player names. I like him. I think he's a great offensive talent. I don't know how good he is defensively. He did play third. He should be able to play first base fairly well. But I would sign Pete Alonso before Guerrero. That would be my choice as a Mets fan and because the numbers are going to be comparable. Except for the average.
And we have our Juan Soto. We have our Lindor. The Mets, it would behoove the Mets to go ahead and sign a homegrown talent who knows New York, who knows how to handle the pressure, who has stepped up in the pressure and proven that. And he's a big-time fan favorite. And I guess in winning, fan favorite is probably the bottom of the line. But it does factor in, right? And he would help this team win. And it would be way cheaper than
Dom
Guerrero.
sent the checkbook at him. Blank check. Just give him whatever he wants. Pete.
Yeah, Guerrero is going to demand a very large contract. And I'm not saying that the Mets are beyond having that kind of contract, but it wouldn't make sense to them with the team we have.
DH.
Right. Yeah, right. Pete as a DH.
Big nine. You want the big three in basketball? You got the big nine.
I also think, when we're talking about homegrown talent, I think that Toronto's not so much a small market team. You got to remember, Toronto can spend. I think they're going to pay him. I think they're just lowballing him a little bit right now. And that's the way to do it. You never know. You float $380 million at somebody. I'd bite. But he's betting on himself, and he put it down, and he's probably looking to get something in the $500 million range. Good for him. I just don't think it's a fit for us. I mean, wait. Let me pause and say Guerrero's a fit on any team. I just think that the better idea is for us to sign Pete, the homegrown talent, to Rodriguez's point, and just plug him in the lineup now and not look for some kind of Band-Aid until the next year goes where he's a free agent and maybe we get him. It just, don't. They're Canadian anyway, right? Because Vlad was originally Montreal, and now
I don't think that's logical. I don't think that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't make any sense, it's nonsense.
We're all in agreement on that.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
I have a hypothetical trade scenario for you fellas, for you fine fellas out here today.
Hold on,
you're gonna piss me off.
No, I'm not gonna piss you off at all.
Okay.
Can you allow me to take a breath before you give me anxiety?
Go ahead.
Right,
okay, so the Yankees just got Cody Bellinger in a blockbuster trade.
Good luck with that 220.
5 years ago, blockbuster. Just not a blockbuster no more. For a very mid-level pitcher, right? So you made that deal. It's cheap, whatever.
Got it.
What would you say?
No.
To somebody who just declined a trade because he's got a no trade clause to a bunch of cheating assholes down in Texas. What would you say to the Mets sending a middling pitcher, let's say Tyler McGill, to the Cardinals for Nolan Arenado to play third base?
For Arenado?
3 years left at I think it's like $30 million.
Yeah, but did you see his stats last year? He's not elite.
Yes.
He's not an elite.
No, not elite. So in that scenario, Pete's at first. This does not.
Oh wait, Pete's here.
Pete's still here.
Okay.
Because this is a low level trade. It plays right into what the Mets have done. The Cardinals are willing to eat some of the money, which is even better than what the Mets have done. He just said no thanks to the Astros. They had a deal in place to the Astros.
We're one of the teams that he wants to come to.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So you bring Arenado in to play third base, but Vientos in at DH. You got Pete at first. What do you say?
For Tyler McGill, Mr. Huff and Puff after 4?
It's the same level compared pitcher to what I forget the dude's name for the Yankees that the Yankees sent for Cody Bellinger, and that's what everybody is kind of layering this trade on. That it would cost a whole lot less than what most people thought it would.
If Arenado can give me 20 home runs a year and still bat that 280, if he can do that, it's a no-brainer.
And the glove at third base,
and the glove at third base, but he's going to get breaks too. When you let Vientos play third base, you let him DH. I mean, Nolan Arenado at this stage for Tyler McGill, yeah.
I think you need to get rid of Marte if you do that.
Okay.
Because who else is going to do DH? Because right now, that the way it's set up right now, Marte is kind of your.
So you can use Marte, and then eventually you can use a McNeil to get starting pitching.
Would you get rid of Marte or would you get rid of Tyrone?
Marte. And I'll tell you why. Because Nimmo's always banged up, Soto is in. I know.
I remember we got Siri also now.
left of
That
his-
outfield has talent and depth.
Outfield has
Jose
Siri,
Siri.
McNeil, Acuna,
Taylor.
Taylor, and you can still get three more guys from the minors to
Don't forget
fill
Siri.
it. So
And then
right
in the
now,
minor
I
league,
think the outfield, the center field is this is how I'm envisioning it. Right, as of today, the way things are, you have a platoon in center field of Tyrone and Siri. You have Nimmo in left, Soto in right. Nimmo in left. Nimmo has great range and he's a good fielder, not a great arm, but he gets banged up a lot. And then Soto in right is average, right? So you put somebody like a Siri and a Tyrone in center because they're above average to cover that extra gap. And I think you have a good defensive outfield. But once you start messing with that, I think you have to be careful where you're messing with, because we know as Met fans, when your defense is weak, it doesn't matter how good your offense is, doesn't matter how good your bullpen is, it's going to be a huge problem. And that's what happened in 2015.
But if you have Marte still on that team, though, that offense is going to be smoking. And if Marte's hitting, because he's basically just going to be a hitter now, guys. He's really not going to be a main guy in the outfield.
I agree.
Cornet said Keith finally has some good points after 7 years. He didn't say it like that. That's
wow.
You never have so many good points.
That's because you have peanut butter in your ears, Cornet. You don't listen enough. That's what it is.
Ooh. Okay. Now he's going to stop fighting with Cornet.
I'm not fighting. I'm responding. But yeah, I think, to me, that's where we are at. I think right now, I think our outfield, and people may think our center field has a lot of weak hitting aspects. They're not. Siri and Tyrone are not weak hitters, especially if they're platooning. And their defense makes up for that with the corner outfielders.
Their defense better make up for 240 hitters.
They
better be able to climb walls.
And as long as Nimmo's on-base percentage goes to where we expect it to be.
Hey, and those guys, Tyrone Taylor had some. I mean, he batted 240, but he had some of those 240 hits.
He has spurts,
Were big time. Triple bases clearing triple in that one game against whoever it was.
But that's why he's the backup.
Bader and exactly. And
that's
but
fine.
The point of that is that in years past he would have been our starter every day center fielder, exposed 100%. And batting 188 out there.
Exposed.
Well, because also in the past, remember, we had the front office really interfering a whole lot, where David Stearns is giving the tools, and I'm sure they have influence, but you could tell that Mendy really has control over what happens on the field. Where in the past, like where Brody was in, or other,
but they're
GMs,
good. They're good managers, right, Keith? They're good managers. They're good general managers. They're good practical managers. They're good baseball people. You guys are saying that management kept interfering, and they were stupid. That's that doesn't.
Well, yeah, because
either.
a lot of them were not baseball guys, right? So I mean, like Stearns he's a front office guy. He's a business,
and he's a Mets fan, guys. Our management is our Met fans.
GM and owner.
GM and owner.
Family
Kind of guy. If he wasn't super rich, you'd bump into in like Section 2 at Shea Stadium buying a beer or something. He does look like that kind of guy, which is really cool. But he's giving the tools, but he's allowing management and coaches to do what they got to do. And Mets really haven't done that in the past. I mean, look what they did to oh my God, what's his name? That right before Mendy that we fired, who was like 101 win season.
Showalter.
Buck Showalter.
Yeah. Look what they did to Buck. It was time to go because we were changing, and I understand that. I don't have an issue with that. But they also kind of railroaded him a little bit and tried to control him. And that was the wrong thing to do, right? And then when Stearns came in, that kind of stopped. So, that's a great thing. But I think that the Mets outfield is set up pretty good right now. However, going into March, April, after the preseason, it's going to, by the time we get into August, it's going to be totally different. We're not even going to recognize this team from what comes out of camp.
Better not be totally different.
Baseball.
All right. So Cornet says the newest Met. I don't want to say the name because it activates the phone. Has tremendous range, which helps Soto a lot because he lacks that. Yes. Listen, Yankee fans made this whole montage of all this awful play by Soto. There's also stuff of some of the really great plays that he made last year. So we're gonna live with the great and live with the not so great in right field. That's fine.
I was actually
relax. It's
on the way home today. Do you think they're gonna play over the PA when he steps up to bat, like Siri, to try to get everybody's phone to?
I hope not. Bohan says, "Relax. It's December. There's plenty of time to round out the roster."
But if we're relaxed, then we don't have the show, right?
Relaxed. Well, we are relaxed, but maybe he's talking to Dom. Dom's.
Dom is pretty upset today for what's going on.
Yes, the hat.
I think the PIITB team is. I think we're all pretty relaxed. We're just kind of enjoying this ride right now. I mean, I don't. From our chat,
having a blast.
Yeah.
All right. So I definitely want to get your take on that. Definitely, it's a hypothetical, but again, it's a short-term, 3-year, $30 million. I think is left. Cardinals are willing to eat a chunk. Maybe the Mets just say, hey, here's some money and here's a single A dude and some baseball bats. With the Mets just building the roster and the minor leagues.
Can I throw a quick trade proposal out there, which probably will also upset Rodriguez? Well, I don't think yours did, but I think this one will.
Mine didn't upset at all. I don't think because I said Pete's back. Pete's still here.
Jose Puto. Take Jose Puto Maricon.
Wow, Rodriguez is already pissed. Look at him. Look at it.
Take
what?
Okay. Take Acuna. Maybe Jet Williams, and some other prospects.
Sure.
Listen, Texas is looking to sell.
DeGrom?
DeGrom's healthy. Bring him back for like an encore. Let's win a championship with him. What do you think?
God, Rodriguez is done for he's out till spring. He's done. He's done. All right, I'm gonna reel Rodriguez. I'm gonna reel this back in. Great news, big announcement made. We talked weeks ago that there was rumors about it, and it's gonna happen. David Wright, the captain, getting his number retired. It's a thing of beauty. It's like a love fest to Steve Cohen, but it is. In years past, we'd be waiting until 2035 to get David Wright's number retired. So here it is. Boom. Here we go. And then,
he does deserve it. He really does deserve it. That kid, that's a good kid, man. That's a good kid. He was with us for the last 3 or 4 years.
Wait,
I'm telling you.
One of the better shows on that has come Disney Plus is What If. Think about David Wright. Remember that the whole Madoff years. Remember and David Wright. We were like, oh shit, is he going to sign? He's going to go to the Marlins. He's going there, and he stayed in the shittiest of situations. He could have gone anywhere, but that's a dude who was loyal to he's a Met fan through and through from the moment he was born.
But it was 20. There were 28 million reasons to be loyal too.
Yeah, but anybody else could have given him even a little bit more money, and he could have gone.
Let's be very technical about it. That extension on David Wright was probably the worst contract signing the Mets have ever made. I love David Wright, and I'm not against what happened, but
God, the poop in the milk. He's getting his number retired.
No, but statistically speaking, it was terrible, right? Because he got injured.
That was pretty bad, though, Keith. I gotta admit that one was pretty bad. Yeah. He's talking about his number retirement. You say that's the worst contract the Mets ever did.
No, he deserves his number retired. I'm not saying anything like he doesn't, but.
That's just funny the way it was such complete opposite.
I built it up. I took it away from the DeGrom thing.
Well, I pulled the Rodriguez. Do you remember when we first started the show? Rodriguez would always poop and milk with David Wright, where you would hype him up.
Justin Turner. He killed Justin. He could have had Justin Turner for his prime years. We had to keep
First
David
of all,
Wright.
with
a back.
Fuck Justin Turner.
Fuck 320 and 30 home runs for the last 4 years.
Justin Turner is the lumberjack from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But would you guys do that? Would you guys do that DeGrom trade? I'm just asking. You haven't answered.
Oh my God, why are you coming back to that crap?
I'm just curious.
All right.
Yeah, probably I would.
I would too.
Really quick. I know this is an oxymoron here, but really quick. After David Wright, who's the next Met to get his number retired? First name to come to mind. Boom. Boom, everybody. Good.
Edgardo Alfonso.
Alfonso's
playing. So you don't think Gooden should never get it? I wouldn't give it to Straw. I'd give it to Gooden.
He's retired already.
Who?
Gooden and Strawberry. They're both this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Number retired, not retired, because he's retired.
Oh.
Well, isn't that what we're talking about?
Let's give it to
let's
give it to.
Is there a next guy? We don't gotta push it, but is there a next guy?
I'd like to see Edgardo Alfonso. I would say right now he's probably the best second baseman of the Mets history.
What about Reyes?
They kicked him off his team. They kicked him off the team. They didn't want him to manage.
His back was injured and he was no longer serviceable the way he was.
He was doing crack in the corner.
He was smoking crack with a whore in the corner.
What about Reyes?
Right. If Wright's getting retired, it should be Reyes. Yeah, Reyes should be there too.
Maybe that'll.
Because he did come back and finish his career with us.
He had that one strong season late in the career, but then remember that other time, then third base.
Playing third base now.
We had because Rosario was a short.
The guy won a batting title, and Ponzi's just kind of like, I mean, come on, we should have signed him, not the Marlins. But anyway, and he didn't make. And
then he wanted to get traded to Toronto.
Yeah, but he talks shit about the Mets in a rap song. That's unforgivable.
Edgardo Alfonso.
Cowbell, what's going on, sir? All right, let's get the hell up on out. Let's get the hell up on out of here. Doing a little quick on round robin here, as we last show of the year, fellas. Christmas next year. That's Christmas
true.
next week. New Year's
true.
next week. 2025 coming, and hopefully Santa gets us some more stuff. Keith, what you got here on the way out?
Yeah, I think unless we sign Pete, we should. On that case, we should do like an emergency quick show.
Wherever we are, even if you're in the shower.
Yep, exactly. I want to see Pete.
How much of Pete do you want to see?
Probably a lot. He does.
I want to see the Pete that hits 52 home runs. I think
he wants to see the hammer. He wants to see the hammer.
I want him to drop the hammer, baby. I think Pete would be an amazing signing. I think, like we were saying earlier, he would strengthen his lineup. Just dropping him in that lineup as it is right now.
You see how he's talking shit to Joe by talking about Pete constantly rubbing it in producer Joe's face, rubbing it in. Producer Joe didn't want to talk about it, so he's gonna make his whole thing about Pete Alonso.
And I want to see Mania come back. I think the corner he turned last year, taking up some pitching changes and going through the Hefner camp. I think he's set up that he can pitch into his mid to late 30s and still be very effective. I'd like to see us sign him to at least a 3-year deal. And that's it. Let's go Mets. I'm super excited about what we have right now. Can't wait to see Juan Soto just tear it up as a Met. And I can't wait to see a championship being brought home to Queens, baby. Let's go Mets.
Rodriguez, what you got?
Signed up Polar Bear. Get another starter, a good quality starter, and fill in the gaps with crappy guys. Keep Budo in. Bring Budo up into the bullpen. Make him a guy
back in the pen, baby.
Does 2 or 3 innings and keep him up there. And then we'll be fine. Although, and I will take that Tyler McGill for Arenado trade.
How about the DeGrom trade?
Somebody, I heard somebody on a podcast saying that they would even trade Brett Beatty for Arenado.
Sure, why not? But Beatty looks like a Cardinal, and he'll probably do well over there.
The Midwest guy, yeah. I mean, who knows? Who knows?
He'll be
Producer Joe, what you got here? Chunky Reen. Sorry.
Look, everybody's just emotional about Pete because he's had some great Met moments, and he's been, a Met since he came up, and he's a lovable guy. But it's emotion, I have full faith in Stearns. If Pete walks, I'm gonna know that Stearns made the right decision. If he signs him, he made the right decision. It'll be fine either way. I mean, look, it's only been a year, but how can you not at least believe in what Uncle Steve and Stearns are doing? So, relax. I have no doubt they're going to sign another.
Nobody's more relaxed than Rodriguez right now.
Yep.
Nobody's relaxed than Rodriguez right now.
Yeah, no, we don't need that shit here. All right.
None of that negativity.
Get that negativity out of my life.
Yeah, he can come back next year.
But Joe, if Pete goes to the Yankees, then I'm pissed off.
Oh my God!
And so what? So what?
No,
I mean, you're like,
I'm gonna be angry.
Like,
so
I want 52 home run Pete. Yeah, you know what? Pete wants 52 home run Pete. That's a thing of the past. I mean, he's if we
can do it again, Joe.
It's a thing of our future, Joe.
Just 42 home run Pete. I just find it hard to replace the production. Or the combination of the production and the fact that he's done it in the
If he goes to the Yankees, it's like saying no, but still insertion happens and needs to stop. No means no.
Insertion happens, huh?
What are you talking about?
That should be the title of the show. The Put in the Book Show.
Stop.
Off-season special #1. Insertion happens.
Yeah, no, Pete can't go to the Yankees. It'll feel like devastation. He just can't go. I mean, if he signs,
don't be a little girl about it.
And not go to the Yankees.
We'll get somebody else if he leaves.
All right. So look, that does it for us for the year. It was
Deuces.
We talked about 2024 last time.
It
was a great year, which is turning into a great off season. Next couple of weeks, maybe we could sign another couple players on the Christmas tree and all that good stuff.
Be ready to go.
But we wish you all and yours the merriest of Christmas, the happiest of Hanukkahs, the merriest of everything else. Happy New Year, prosperous, all that good shit.
Insertion into 2026.
2012. We're fast forwarding a whole year, 2026.
Yeah, we do. Because
Joe, get us out of here, please.
Merry Christmas.